Everybody, welcome to Tricks 666. This week, our guest is Saber Tompson, a friend of mine from the convention and music scene. I'm so excited to have them on, singing an original song. You might recognize the tune of it. And just kind of sharing a little bit about them and what they do. But originally, you might have noticed the poll in the group was about, people you think are assholes. So I had this whole slideshow idea set up where I was going to sing a song about, small men with small minds, and you don't necessarily even have to be a man to fall in line with those kinds of opportunistic, bigoted remarks. I think it repeats over and over, but especially the way so many of these Republicans were trying to get good sound bites with Ketanji Brown's confirmation hearings. It was just gross. So I had this whole thing about that, and I didn't quite finish that song because last night, to tell this story, we need to go to the junkyard from the musical Cats. Okay, now we're in the Jellicle junkyard. So last night I had this dream where, Trounces, the driving cat, it was kind of in that vein, except it was Sheriff Trounces. And it was a TV show, but it was also real. But it was Sheriff Trounces, and it was also, Sheriff Trounces was Ed Sheeran. It was like an orange cat. It was just a cat that was the sheriff. So I got permission from my friend, bandmate Lee, to use a picture of her orange cat as part of an artistic rendering of the song, the Jellicle song for Sheriff Trounces, which is, I did an artist rendering, so here we go. That's Sheriff Trounces, a Jellicle cat. And this is his song. It's a Western. Get that Western vibe. Fiery orange like sunset, my stripes and markings true. You're a bandit, federally, I'm coming after you. Sheriff Trounces, a sheriff who's a cat. Sheriff Trounces, I wear a cowboy hat. Sheriff Trounces, don't ever forget that. Say I'm the toughest lawman, I carry justice scales. My tiny little rucksack I tie onto my tail. Sheriff Trounces, a sheriff who's a cat. Sheriff Trounces, I wear a cowboy hat. Sheriff Trounces, don't ever forget that. Perch high on the saddle of my Palomino horse. Stirrups have no use to me, got legs too short, of course. Sheriff Trounces, a sheriff who's a cat. Sheriff Trounces, I wear a cowboy hat. Sheriff Trounces, don't ever forget that. Here's the last verse. Can't shoot a gun with tiny paws, never needed to. Instead of cuffs on laps, I sit to evil men subdue. Sheriff Trounces, a sheriff who's a cat. Sheriff Trounces, I wear a cowboy hat. Sheriff Trounces, don't ever forget that. So that's Sheriff Trounces. Inspired by my dream last night of Sheriff Trounces, the cat that's a sheriff. So yeah, like I said, I was going to do a more serious rendition, but sometimes that's just what the song just has to be written. Hey, Stevani. So that was Sheriff Trounces. Coming up next, I've got our guest of the day, my friend Saber Tompson of the Misbehaved Maidens, formerly of Scales and Crosstones, and a multi-talented entrepreneur and musician. But I'll let them tell you a little bit about themselves. I will say that Saber's been so supportive and such an inspiration to me as far as being confident in professional situations, but also thinking about inclusivity and content in songs, whether they're older songs or newer ones. I just really appreciate that they're doing that kind of work. So with that, I think, I had an idea for Sonic Identity, so let's see. Sonic Identity. So I'll let Saber take it away.
Hey Matricula, hey everybody watching 6 at 6. I am Saber Tompson. I used to be a member of Scales and Crosstones, which was a fun pirate band that did sea shanties and Celtic music, and I am currently a member of Misbehavin' Maidens. We are an 18 plus, not suitable for work, filthy, feminist, and fun sort of band. We do a lot of nerdy and dirty music. You should definitely check us out. This is a song that I wrote for the Misbehavin' Maidens at the beginning of the pandemic. So yes, it has a few swears in it. But this song, I think it's still relevant, but I'm not sure that the maidens are really gonna learn it now that we're still ongoing in this crisis. So I thought I would sing it for you all today. You might recognize the tune. Well, my hands are washed, I've bought TP. You're standing there 6 feet from me. I'd hate to be the one who got you sick, but I know it might be 2 weeks or more of staying shut behind closed doors. I had to see you one last time real quick. So wave at me and smile at me. Promise that you'll Skype with me. Don't hug me now. You have to let me go. 'Cause I'm staying stuck in quarantine. Fuck you, COVID-19. The CDC, they told us so. There's so many times I've stayed at home, and now I really want to roam. I wish we could have gotten one last screw. Don't mourn the time we could have spent. Don't pay the landlord the fucking rent. It's a crisis now, but somehow we'll get through. So wave at me and smile at me. Promise that you'll Skype with me. Don't hug me now. I've got to let you go. 'Cause I'm staying stuck in quarantine. Fuck you, COVID-19. The CDC, they told us so. They told us so. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed that. That was my coming to terms with the pandemic song. Like I usually say, I write my music for therapy reasons. Definitely check out the Misbehavin' Maidens. You can also check out Scales and Crosstones. Our music is no longer online, but I do have some recordings, so hit me up if you'd like to buy those. And then also, if you'd like to see what I'm doing on the regular now, check out kinkycurvyblue.com. But be aware, it is porn.
Finer words never spoken. But yeah, no, I really admire Saber's work, and I really, really hope you check out their content, throw tips. Lots of links are there and socials. So, and seriously, thank you to them for being on the show. It's one of the fun things about, and there's lots of Sixers in the chat too. Like, one of the fun things has been getting a chance to feature my friends and do a little jazz hands thing with them. So I don't want to get too sappy, but I just appreciate everybody who drops in or watches later or sends in videos for the show. It's been such a fun project. So speaking of shanties, Saber mentioned they were formerly in a shanty band. So I thought I would do a sea shanty. This one is called the Dead Horse Shanty, which was, I think, used for formal occasions. Sometime when Ordo is in, we'll have to get him to give us a rundown on the naval tradition. But I actually learned this one. There's a lot of threads tying all these together. I actually learned this one from the Rogues Gallery compilation of sea shanties, which had Loudon Wainwright on it, which will come up again later. So. Poor old man, your horse, he will die, and we say so, and we know so. Poor old man, your horse, he will die. Poor old man. Poor. Hoist him up to the main yard, and we say so, and we know so. We'll hoist him up on the main yard, poor old man. Say, old man, your horse, he will die, and we say so, and we know so. Say, old man, your horse, he will die, poor old man. Drop him down to the depths of the sea, and we say so, and we know so. We'll drop him down to the depths of the sea. Poor old man. We'll sing him down with a long, long roll, and we say so, and we know so. Where the sharks will have his body and the devil have his soul. Poor old man. I haven't thought about that song in a long time. Okay. I've got a couple more for you. Like I said, I had to shift some stuff around because Sheriff Trounces sprung forth to the Jellicle Ball. So it's just a song I hadn't thought of in a while, but I remember liking it so much. It's Joan Osborne's "What If God Was One of Us." Joan Osborne's one of us. And I think I have two more after this, so. I've been on kind of that era that was this late 90s, mid 90s? Hit my little button. Thanks for tuning in. If God had a name, what would it be, and would you say it to his face? You were faced with him in all his glory. What would you ask if you had just one question? Yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. Oh, what if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us, just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home. God had a face, what would it look like, and what you want to see? If seeing meant that you would have to believe things like heaven and in Jesus and the saints and all the prophets. Yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. Oh, what if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home. Trying to make his way home. Back up to heaven all alone. Nobody calling on the phone. Except for the Pope maybe in Rome. Yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. Oh, what if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home. Just trying to make his way home. Like a holy rolling stone, back up to heaven all alone. Just trying to make his way home. Nobody calling on the phone, except for the Pope maybe in Rome. That was One of Us by Joan Osborne. I was just noticing, I was like, oh, I'm wearing my little nose ring, like her little nose ring, in the music video for that. So this is another one I've just kind of had on my mind, talking about like influences and things that, I don't know if you remember, like listening to the radio, it always felt, growing up, like listening to like the oldie stations, it always felt kind of special when certain songs would come on because they were either long or you didn't, one of us, or you didn't hear them often. And one of those for me was Ode to Billie Joe. And then later I got, by Bobbie Gentry, and then later I got, you know, more into her music and her story. And she's another person that's just been such a, like, I don't know, glam folk blues inspiration. But I don't have the picking down yet, but I've got the, we'll go with the rhythm. So this is Ode to Billie Joe by Bobbie Gentry. Hang on. And I'm tangled in chords. Here we go. It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered out the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. She said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today Billie Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, Billie Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I gotta plow. Mama said it was a shame about Billie Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billie Joe McAllister's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Brother said he recollected when he and Tom and Billie Joe put a frog down my back at the Carroll County Picture Show. Wasn't I talking to him after church last Sunday night? I'll have another piece of apple pie. You know it don't seem right. Well, I saw him at the sawmill yesterday on Choctaw Ridge. Now you tell me Billie Joe's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Mama said to me, child, what's happened to your appetite? I've been cooking all morning and you haven't touched a single bite. Well, the nice young preacher, Brother Taylor, well, he dropped by today. Said he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, said he saw a girl look a lot like you up on Choctaw Ridge. And she and Billie Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge. I hear he's come and gone since we heard the news about Billie Joe. Brother married Becky Thompson, they bought a store in Tupelo. Was a virus going round, Papa caught it and he died last spring. Now Mama doesn't want to seem to do much of anything. And me, I spent a lot of time picking flowers on Choctaw Ridge. Drop them into the muddy water off the Tallahatchie Bridge. That is, I keep go for the next one. That is Ode to Billie Joe by Bobbie Gentry. All right, I've got one more with our threads today. So that Rogues Gallery CD was the first time I'd really heard of Loudon Wainwright. And this song I'm about to play is called The Picture by Loudon Wainwright. And I had been talking to my dad one time, and he was mentioning he used to like to listen to Prairie Home Companion, and one of the frequent singers was Sally Dworsky, who was the singing voice of Nala in the original Lion King movies, but she did an album, she does original music too, but she'd done an album of piano covers, and she's a beautiful voice, and this was one of them, and so it was kind of like a roundabout recommendation from my dad, but this is on Wainwright's album History, which is a difficult album, but I have one more for us today, so. This goes out to anyone with siblings. There are pictures on the piano, pictures of the family, mostly my kids, but there's an old one, a picture of you and me. You were 5 and I was 6 in 1952. That was 40 years ago. How could it be true? We were sitting outside drawing at a table meant for cards. Must have been in autumn, falling leaves in the front yard, with a shoebox full of crayons, the colors oh so bright. Picture in a plastic frame, a snapshot black and white. You were looking at my paper, watching what I drew. It's natural I was older, 13 months more than you. A brother and a sister, a little boy and girl. Whoever took that picture captured our whole world. A brother needs a sister to watch what he can do, to protect and to torture, to boss around, it's true. But a brother will defend her, for a sister's love is pure, because she thinks he's wonderful, even when he's not so sure. In the picture there's a fender, our old Chevrolet, a Pontiac, our dad would know, surely he could say. Dad is dead and we grow old, it's true that time flies by. In 40 years the world has changed as well as you and I. So, that is called The Picture by Loudon Wainwright III, who had a difficult relationship with his own son. But anyway, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for, of course, indulging me as we changed from the original politic song this morning to Sheriff Trounces' A Jellicle Cat. Oh, thank you for the applause. With that, I'm going to wrap up the stream. I highly recommend, if you have not yet seen Everything Everywhere All at Once and are safely able to do so, go for it, and if not, definitely bookmark it for when it comes on home release. I just think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, and I'm so excited for more people to see it. So tune in. Let's go to our credits. Next week, our guest is Kitty Armistead for the 420 show. Blaze it, as they say. Let me get my, here we go. And then after that, we've got Sleepy Swords. So I am so excited. Like I said, tune in next week for, I have a brand new funky ET themed weed song for next week. And I just want to say thank you again to all of my patrons, Twitch subs, other supporters for making this show possible. Please check out my social medias I'm at Matricula basically everywhere. And like I said, I'm excited to do this. It's been something that's helped me kind of push myself. And yeah, so with that, I'm just going through the credits. We had a new patron this week. I want to welcome Chi the Monkey, who will also be doing a presentation this season. So tune in for that. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.